Get this shit a long way, hit the long way, long way, hit the long way, 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 shit long way, 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 shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a gotta get the shit the long way. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get the shit the long way. Tryna get money every single way. Tryna get money every single day, get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, every day we gotta get paid, I'm feeling like we be the new slaves, know we gotta finish rich, know we gotta finish rich, got a new bitch, she don't understand, she don't understand, niggas gotta get rich, she don't understand, sometimes we gotta hit lit, no we ain't hit lit, tryna get the long way, tryna get the shit the long way, Coach tryna wrap up a entree, told you the other day that did my phone strong, we gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, get the shit long way, my bitch be trippin' back and forth like the phone way, my name is Tori, I ain't playing games, just a little Tori, yesterday she told me that she about to leave, I said fuck it bitch, we gonna get some money, I said fuck it bitch, I'm about to get some money, so what I do today, I want to get some money, cause we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the shit the long way, back and forth like the pong way, man I'ma get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way, just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy, we gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day, we be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay for so we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the shit long way, we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the shit the long way, we get the shit the long way, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, we gon' get the long way,
Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Let me move this out the way. How you guys doing today? Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host and the founder of S&D, LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. What I do is help people own themselves. I help you own yourself, right? And I'll explain how I do that. I do that with a gift. I have a financial gift. I have the ability to see negative numbers psychologically. All right. So again, I always start with this. If you're a homeowner, you believe you're a homeowner. I want you to open up your calculator with a mortgage, homeowner with a mortgage. Open up your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and then hit equal. Now, as you're looking at the calculator, I just want you to listen to the sound of my voice, okay? The reason why you believe you're a homeowner is because you cannot see negative numbers psychologically. You can obviously see them physically because you're looking at your calculator now. As you look at your calculator, you see this large negative number. Now, you got to ask yourself, as you're looking at this negative number, you got to say to yourself, what can I buy with this amount of money? Can I buy a house? Can I buy a car? A refrigerator, a skateboard, a phone, headphones, wireless white poking out the ear headphones? What can I buy with this? You can't buy nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. But yet you believe you can. Now the reason why you believe that, because you cannot see negative numbers psychologically. Now, the place you're in is called the debt matrix, okay? And this is where debt slaves live. Now, there's two kinds of debt slaves. There's unconscious debt slaves and there's conscious debt slaves. Unconscious debt slaves cannot see negative numbers psychologically, as I explained earlier. Those are unconscious. When they could just look at the calculator, see a large negative number, and still don't believe it, as they look at the calculator with their own eyes and say, I don't believe it, they are psychologically unconscious. Doesn't matter what they say, what they believe, whatever, right? Now, there's conscious debt slaves. A conscious debt slave is a person that probably found the SMD channel. 9 times out of 10, they found the SMD channel, never heard anything like it, and they decided to believe the calculator. Now, a conscious debt slave is proud to tell you they're a conscious debt slave. Why? Because they were once unconscious and they know how hard it is to have woken up. Now they're doing anything and everything to get out of debt the fast. That's why I love this intro song, because paying off your debt seems like the long way. It does. It really is. Like, you add up all your debt and you look at that calculator and then you believe it. Then you say, damn, how long is that going to take me to pay off? That's going to take some years. Probably so. Yeah, probably take some years. Now that was me, right? I was the high valued man in the debt matrix, 6-figure earner, college educated, good engineering job. I'm making $160,000 a year, nice house, nice car, blase, blase. That means you made it or whatever, the 6-figure. So I got there. And when I got there, I said, well, is this it? I reached the 6-figure mark because, honestly, not until recently, I didn't really understand what 6 figures meant. I mean, how few of people make 6 figures a year? I really didn't even think about that. And once I look at that, I'm like, it's only 5.4% of the population that makes 6 figures. I didn't even realize that. Did not realize that. But anyway, I made that goal. And when I got there, I was like, is this it? What do I do here? Make 6 figures and then I stay at my job until I retire and then I enjoy life? I said, nah, that can't be it. That can't be it, because I see very few people, though, very few of them are living the life that I want. Right? But you got to remember, I was an unconscious debt slave making 6 figures. I didn't know. Found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically says, take the math, the elementary math that we learned in elementary school, grade school math, apply it to your personal finances using these baby steps. And that's what I did. Now I'm here. Long story short, woke up once I got to zero, because again, it seems like the very long way. But once you get to zero, that's your whole life changes. And this is why it changes, because if you've been in debt all your life and you thought debt was just part of life, I'm here to tell you that's not true. That is not true. Once I got to zero, that's it. I realized I freed myself. It wasn't until I got to zero is when I realized I was an unconscious slave, because I had never been to zero my whole entire adult life. Never. I was caught up in the debt matrix, and the debt matrix is where unconscious debt slaves live, and that's where the bank set up shop. The debt matrix, and to try to explain, because everything's psychological, to try to explain what the debt matrix is, it's the space between your calculator and your brain. That's the debt matrix, right? So, like I said before, you put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal, and you see that large negative number on your calculator, right? That negative number passes through the debt matrix, out your calculator, through the debt matrix, out the other side of the calculator, and into your brain. And by the time it reaches your brain, guess what? Now you believe you're a homeowner with equity. You went from a negative number to a homeowner with equity. That's because you live in the debt matrix. The debt matrix is where you can buy anything with no money of your own. None. You don't need no money to buy anything. Houses, cars, vacations, TVs, phones, investing, whatever. You have no money, but you guys think you can do all of that. That's where you live, the debt matrix. But once you reach zero, you realize you're no longer part of the average. Because I figure like this, if I made it to 6 figures and only 5.4 of the population have ever made 6 figures, Imagine the percentage of people that know what I know, what I'm sharing with you today. Imagine 0.001.56.2. Because what people don't understand is this. When you look at the statistics on Google, it says only 5.4 of the people make six figures, 5.4%. Now, what breaks that number down even more, you take the six-figure earners out of that population that are triple that in debt. You remove them too because they really don't count. They can make six figures all they want, but if they're triple that in debt, most likely they are, because if they make six figures, they probably have a house that's triple their yearly salary, mortgaged, with student loan debt. Imagine the percentage of people that know this. There is no way to calculate it because the majority must remain in debt. Now, the reason why I share this gift, because it is a gift that needs to be shared for people that want to, that have been walking around in the debt matrix just wondering, man, something's wrong. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. No matter how many raises I get, no matter how many jobs I get, I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. Those are the people I'm trying to reach. The reason why I know this is because when I was in the debt matrix, I was asking myself those types of questions. I make six figures a year and I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. That's what I used to say to myself in the debt matrix. I was like, how is that possible? So you know what I thought in my brain when I was in the debt matrix? I said, oh, that means I need to hurry up and get some promotions. I need to get another job that's paying more money. No, you don't have to do none of that. That is not true. All you got to do is get out of debt. You are causing yourself. I was causing myself to live paycheck to paycheck, making $160,000 a fucking year. But to the outside, it looked like I had money. I had a nice car, nice house, clothes, looked sharp, going on vacations. Oh, L makes money, man. He's an engineer. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. That was all on credit. All. When you step outside the debt matrix and you read a statistic like that, 5.4 of the people, 5.4% of the people make six figures. That means a lot of people on social media are not telling the truth to you. That's a fact. Look at that, 5.4. But if you go on social media, it look like everybody got money. They're just rolling in cars and Benzes and bitches and all. That's not true. None of that is true. The statistic says it. Most of you guys don't really understand the power of this gift. It's so powerful, people don't even believe it, and I can prove it with a calculator. That's how powerful it is. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Oh, Linnell, that's not true. Pull out your calculator. I'll show you. It's so psychological. I got people believing that I have a version of math that they don't. Oh, Linnell, they always go like this. Oh, LJ, I'm not going by your math. My math? What are you talking about? My math? I don't own math. Your math is different, LJ. Why do you keep calling math mine? I don't get it. I just go, hey, you know math. You do know math was here before I was born, right? Right. That means I didn't create it. I was taught it. And you know what's so crazy? And the majority of unconscious debt slaves that just, oh, the system is bad, taxes are keeping us down, and all this just constant woe is me. They taught us all of this. They taught all of us this in grade school. There was a chart. When I was in grade school, there was a chart above the chalkboard. 0 was in the middle, and on my right, it was positive numbers. They were always in green. And then on my left, there was red numbers. Those were negative numbers. And 0 was just white. It was just neutral. 0 is just there. But what there in my version of it, the reason why 0 is round and it's got a hole through it, to me, this is just, you must go through 0 to go to either side. First, you must go through 0. 0 is a number. We all know 0 is a number. We know 0 is a number, but yet when debt slaves count, they always forget about 0. Why didn't you start with 0? Debt slaves are programmed to ignore 0. And if they ignore 0, guess what else they can't see? They can't see what's on the other side of 0, negative numbers. If they don't recognize 0, they don't recognize anything past 0. Do you understand? That's a program. That's psychological. I really do. And if you're new to the channel, I really want you to understand. I really want you to see the things and hear the things I say that millions of other people on YouTube don't do. I have a video of me logging into my Credit Karma live for everybody to see. Now you got to ask yourself, how come LJ is the only one on YouTube that has done that? That's weird. And then when you go ask the other financial channels that you watch, hey, can we see your personal credit report? LJ showed us his, and he said it wasn't a big deal. Can you show us yours? The majority of them are going to take offense to it. You know why? Because nobody asked them that question. The majority of debt slaves you guys are so focused on the cars and the shoes and the clothes, and you guys forget to ask that question. Can I see your personal credit report? The majority of you will be surprised. You'll look at their personal credit report and think, if you're so rich, why do you have all this debt? If you're so rich. People with money are not in personal debt. Debt slaves, and that's another thing for you guys to understand something. Debt slaves don't know the difference between business debt and personal debt. I've dumbed it down really, really low so you guys can really understand. That's not even to say anything offensive. I'm just saying this is the far as I can probably dumb this down. Personal debt, you pay back. Business debt, your customers pay back. Okay, I'm going to say this one more time. Personal debt, you pay back. Business debt, your customers pay back. That's the difference between business debt and personal debt. But debt slaves are not programmed to understand there's a difference. You don't believe me? All you got to do, again, just listen to the channels that you normally, financial channels that you normally watch, and listen to them bounce back and forth between personal debt and business debt. Just watch them. They'll do, and then you got to ask yourself, why are they doing that? Because they know debt slaves don't know the difference. Debt slaves don't know the difference between the two. Like when the majority of people hear Robert Kiyosaki talk about, oh, I love debt. Debt. Robert Kiyosaki is talking about business debt. Because I get a lot of people coming back to me and, oh, well, Robert he says debt is good. No, Robert's talking about business debt. He is not talking about personal debt. The reason why he loves business debt, you know why? Because you guys pay it back. He doesn't pay it back personally. You guys pay it back. His customers pay the loans back to the bank. He pays nothing. You do. That's the difference. What's up, Robert, the architect, Andre, NC Biggs? What's going on? Sal's, IBE, Kenneth? There was no way if I had not got out of debt, there is no way I would have figured out the 40-hour work week as a program. Did you guys know that's a program? Saturday and Sunday off, Monday through Friday is work days, 8 to 5, whatever. That's a program. That is a program. Well, you got to remember, Aaron, Dave Ramsey doesn't have to show his personal credit report. He's proven that he is debt free. I would not have to see his personal credit report because he's clearly not in personal debt. That's clear. That was me I didn't wake up till like 40. Once I owned myself, you got to remember, getting to zero as a debt slave, you get to zero. Yeah. First I started noticing, once I got to zero, when I got my paycheck would stay in my bank account. It's weird. I had to get used to that feeling. Like, I remember the first time when I got to zero and I got my following check, I realized I didn't have nobody to pay. No payments were going out. It was weird. It was a weird feeling. It was a feeling like, why do I have so much money in there? I must have forgot to pay somebody, right? But there's nobody to pay. And then the next check comes in and it just stacks, and it stacks so fast your head will spin. And then I started realizing things at work. It's just it's a journey. You start realizing the time that you're giving away for free. It's like, here, let me give you an example. When you're in the debt matrix, people who are hourly believe people who are salary are somehow better than them. No, it's actually the opposite of that. Because when you turn salary, you guys don't understand how businesses can really use you when you're in debt. Because your salary, you think it's better than hourly. That's a program too. I want you guys on. That's a program, right? Because once I reached alpha, I've been on salary for years, right? And in my head, I used to think, oh yeah, I ain't no hourly employee. I'm salary. Like, that's a big deal. No, they was getting more money out of me being salary than hourly. Again, the only reason why I noticed what I'm telling you today is because I got out of debt. I didn't notice that when I was in debt. I just thought, hey, that's just part of the game. You work after hours. You answer emails when you're not at work. No, you don't. No, you don't. When you go in a job, especially you young IT people, let me make sure you get this straight when you go to salary. First of all, don't think salary is better than hourly people. That's a trick. When you go in there and get that job and they tell you this is going to be your salary, this is what you say. What hours are you expecting me to work for this salary? What days and hours are you expecting to, because you obviously paying me for a certain amount of my time. I would say, what hours are you expecting me to work for this salary? And they say, oh, okay, we're expecting you to work from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. This is what we're paying you for. I'd be like, okay, cool. Cool. Understood. All right, good. So if somebody ever calls you after 5, or they expect you to answer emails, or even a text conversation, anything about work after 5 o'clock, you got to say to yourself, wait a minute, you guys said 8 to 5. So if I work after 5, what are you doing? You're working for free. Because they told you the contract at the table. Hey, we're going to pay you this salary per year, 8 to 5 every day, Monday through Friday, blah, blah, blah. That is it. Don't add your business email and stuff to your personal phone. You buy a separate phone. Hey, and then because the majority of them will off. This is pretty cool. I like the way they do this, right? The business, if you put work email and work blah 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 on your personal phone, this is how they get you. Hey, we'll pay part of your phone bill. Since you're answering emails and phone calls on that phone, we'll pay part of your phone bill. You know what the person says? Hell yeah, I'll do that. Cool. I don't have to pay my that's what they do. Now they can reach you anytime they want on your personal phone. And then it's electronic leash, right? And then you do it so much regularly when you get home and you're relaxing at home. Every time that phone buzz, you're going to check it because you're going to see you're going to think it's work or something. Every sound and buzz and ding, you are programmed that phone owns you. Bzz, bzz. You go upstairs, accidentally leave it downstairs. You'd be like, oh shit, where's my phone? In your own house. You're worried about where your phone is at, and you're home, you're off work. How do I know this? That was me. I did that. I used to always keep my laptop with me, drive it around in the back just in case, even when I wasn't on call, just in case if they needed me. Oh man, because I was very good at what I did. And I was like, but I'm carrying this on my own time. This is me. You think I noticed? I did not notice that. I was like, wait a minute. I didn't notice that till the last year I was at my job, but I was debt free. This is the only way I noticed that. That was crazy. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm answering. Wait a minute. I'm not on call. Why are you guys calling me? And when I really look back at it, you know why they was calling me so much? Because I was very good at what I did. Very good. I could have easily walked into their office and says, hey, I want my salary doubled. Why? Because at the rate you guys are calling me to fix problems and do this and that, you guys should be double. That's double pay. This is how I know I couldn't fit back into what I used to do, because I would not accept that kind of, and I would be odd to a business. They would be like, hey, this guy is not playing. He don't want no emails after hours. He's not being a team player. Team player means work for free. And he's not kissing no boss's ass. He's not doing none of that. Yeah, because you got to remember, there's more debt slaves than non-debt slaves. So the non-debt slave is not going to fit into that world because that's how they think. That's how you guys think. Working for free means you're a slave. I ain't no slave. When you're at work or your boss tells you, hey man, can you do this? And it's after the hours, you turn to your boss and say, you mean work for free? Because you guys are not paying me for that, right? No, why would I work for free? Give away the time in my life for free. See, because that's another thing about between business and personal debt. You guys don't understand the difference, right? Personally, because you guys, when you're in debt, you don't own the time in your life. So you never factor in time. Until when you think about money, you guys never factor in time because you don't own the time in your life. When you get personal debt, you have to use the time in your life to pay back the personal debt. You have to go to work for hour, whatever you're getting paid. You take that money minus taxes and pay back the debt. When you own a business, when you're personally debt-free, that's key. I want you guys to understand something. When you are personally debt-free and then you own a business and then you get into business debt, guess what? You're not using the time in your life you're producing mass amounts in a short amount of time, and then you sell it. The debt slaves pay back. They use their time to pay back the debt to the bank. That's the difference. Time, and you're not using your personal time to pay that back. And you save money on taxes because you cannot be in debt. If you're in debt, you can't save money on taxes. You can't do that. Personally. Business-wise, it's different, especially if you're debt-free. Because I promise you, if you're personally debt-free and then you go into business and then you get a business loan, you're never gonna forget it's a loan that's there. You'll never go on thinking, hey, I own a business while you're making monthly payments to that loan. You're going to know that, hey, I'm not going to own this business until that loan is paid back. You'll never forget that. Never forget that. You'll be like, you'll tell the outside world, yeah, I'm a business owner. Yeah, that's my business, blah, blah, blah. But in your mind, you're going to know that this is not my business until I pay the bank back. That will never slip your mind. What's up, Sewer Rat? $40 hours for hourly work. 40 hours are for hourly workers. Salary workers are the slave. Yes, sure is. 40 hours are for the hourly workers, for sure. IBE says, I seen you on Ramil stream. Thanks for what you do. I'm in the process of selling everything right now. Congratulations. When I hear a person like IBC say something like that, the majority of debt slaves will think that person must be crazy. But when I read something that IBE says right there, that says he knows he's a debt slave and he don't want to be one no more. Because it's not until you really understand that if you're in debt, you are a slave, literally a slave, literally, psychologically. If you're a person walking around here with deep student loan debt, thinking you're investing in cryptocurrency and insurance policies and investments in the stock market, you can't do that. Who's telling you can do that? The banks inside the debt matrix. Do you guys understand that the stock market couldn't exist if they'd stop allowing margin, which is borrowed money, margin, the stock market couldn't function. Do you guys understand that? Debt slaves have no money. Of course they have to borrow to invest. They have no money. Cryptocurrency, that's a psychological currency. That's not real. Blockchain, all this other stuff. What do you guys talk? Who told you that? Who's telling you guys that? You know why you believe stuff like that? Because you're in debt. You have student loan debt. That's why you believe something that you can't see or touch. You know what cryptocurrency is? It's just another psychological currency to make you debt slaves believe in it. Do you think, put it this way, okay? I'm gonna try to break this down to you guys so you guys can really understand you are the cryptocurrency. You. Now, say like Bitcoin. If they didn't break Bitcoin into Bitcoin crumbs for you guys to play, could you guys play? How many of you guys could afford to buy one Bitcoin? $60,000 or whatever it's at right now, 60, 70, whatever. How many of you guys could, if they said, hey, you guys can't buy Bitcoin unless you buy a whole Bitcoin, you guys, Bitcoin would disappear. You understand? Bitcoin would disappear. So they break it down in Bitcoin crumbs. So you debt slaves can play. No difference than car payments, mortgage payments, credit card payments. They have to break it in pieces for you guys to join. Bitcoin would disappear. The whole it's a psychological currency. Have you noticed you can make as many crypto type of currencies as you try to make a physical currency? We'll see what's going to happen. Lauren says, glad to be listening and calculating my yearly bills for 2022. Life is cheaper and more enjoyable north of zero. Sure is, for sure. When you get out of debt and you cross over, you get over zero, and then you understand the true purpose of taxes. First, and this is what I strongly suggest you do. First, you get out of personal debt. First. And then when you get out of debt, you'll see the true purpose of taxes. When you cross over from W-2 to the business side, 1099, whatever, right? Whatever you come over to do, it's going to be a transition, okay? You're going to miss You're gonna miss dates to pay your taxes on time, and you're gonna miss those dates. Okay, that's just a part of the process. You'll catch up, all right? Because when you start on this path, it's easy for the tax people to see what you are trying to. What are you doing? They can clearly see that you're about to start playing the game properly. Put it that way, okay? Because you do things that debt slaves don't do. It's almost like you cannot become wealthy without understanding understanding the true purpose of taxes. You can't. Once you do and you see how it works, it'll all make sense. What's up? Alonzo says, B Dean, it became a hype because nobody, oh, he's talking to somebody, could see it, touch it, and supposed to be unable to be touched. And everything, you know what's so crazy? When I hear that kind of stuff, nobody can break the blockchain, everybody's part of it, and this and that. You turn to the person, and this is serious, okay? For those of you that hear all this blockchain stuff, these gurus that can tell you what to do, and the next thing, this is what you say: do you have student loan debt? Can we see your personal credit report? Can we see that? Because if they have student loan debt, whatever they're saying is not true. You cannot invest in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, while having student loan debt. They come up to you and say, hey man, yeah, Bitcoin's untraceable. The banks don't like it. They come up with all this shit, right? You say, is that an iPhone 13 in your hand? The new one? Yeah. Did you pay cash for that? If they say no, you don't listen to them. They're making phone payments. Here's another one. Let me, like, on the iPhone 13. You guys don't really understand how this works. Psychological, right? I was watching the new Kevin Hart movie on Netflix called True Story. iPhones was in throughout that whole entire movie, almost damn near every scene, an iPhone was in there. Do you guys understand that? I can only imagine how many debt slaves went out and financed them a new iPhone after watching that movie. I can't tell if Apple financed the movie or they paid Kevin Hart a ridiculous amount of money to put his phone. I didn't see one Android. Did you guys can rewatch that movie? Did you see an Android in that movie? I didn't see one. $60,000. Ain't nobody buying a whole Bitcoin. Anybody, hey, and that's another good thing, right? Anybody telling you to invest in Bitcoin, this is what you say to them. Do you got a whole Bitcoin? They're going to look at you really weird, okay? But they're not going to really understand your question, so you repeat it. You say, "Do you have a whole Bitcoin?" Make sure you say it slow because nobody will have ever asked them that question. If they say no, you stop listening to them. Why? You bought a piece of it? What's up, Zeke? That show the other night with the woman was lit. Love the women on it. Yeah, I love it too. You guys will notice that I'm going that direction. You know me, I could do the opposite of the majority. I don't do none of that. I don't follow the crowd. You know, when you get out of debt, you own yourself. It's like living in a different financial dimension. Because when you watch movies about dimensions, you got to remember a movie's trying their best to show you something that doesn't physically exist, right? When you watch a movie, you almost forget that you're watching a movie. Like when you see flying saucers, you're like, well, how do you know a flying saucer is round with a thing on top? Because the movie said so. That's the movie's been saying that's what they, or when here we are in 2021 and flying saucers are flying through the sky, but everything's still grainy. At 4K resolution, possibility you can go 4K resolution. They still got grainy pictures. You just look at everything totally different. Like I was watching this pyramid movie, about the pyramids in Egypt and stuff like that, right? Now, this is so far ago, you just think, wow, they're because they're physically there. Okay, you can see them, you can go visit and you can see them, right? Now you think, is it fake or real? It really doesn't matter if it was real or not. This is what you got to understand. Somebody put in a lot of work to make you believe something. Even if it wasn't real, they had to build these pyramids to make you believe whatever they want you to believe. Either way, the Egyptians did it, or if it's fake or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Somebody put in some time to make you believe something. I mean, put in some serious time. Imagine what they can do with coins that are invisible. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you guys really understand what they can do with what they're already doing with cryptocurrency? Whoever they are, I'm just saying, the people that understand money, because it's not a bad thing. I want you guys to clearly understand something. Whoever really, really created cryptocurrency, whatever, they're the genius. You know what you can do with coins that don't physically exist? You don't need no machines to print them. You don't need anything. You just make it up. It's unlimited. It's totally unlimited. Half the people that come here and believe in cryptocurrency later on, they'll be like, "Oh, he's full of shit," or whatever. I want you to look in the mirror and say, "Do I have student loan debt?" Why does he keep saying that? As you look at it in the mirror too, you got to say to yourself, "I went to college for 4 years, but I've had my student loans for 20. Does that make sense?" CENTS. No, that doesn't make sense. You got 15-year-old, 20-year-old student loan debt, but you think you're investing in a coin that's why you believe you're investing in a coin that doesn't exist, because you have no money. Physical dollars don't even exist for debt slave. Do you guys understand something? Do you guys understand that? Physical dollars don't even exist for debt slave. Physical dollars. Money that you can see and touch. You know how powerful that shit is? I saw this video the other day. Somebody was driving down the freeway in California or something, throwing money outside on the road, on the freeway. Do you know how many people were risking their lives to go get that paper? You're on the freeway. Do you understand that? You're on the freeway. Money was being thrown out the window from illegal in some kind of active investigation or whatever, right? The news rushes out there and takes the people picking up the money, and then they're stopping them. Hey, come over here. What are you going to do with the money? Are you going to keep it? It's like they don't even know. They're making you part of the investigation. That's how debt slaves, they don't really understand how that works. Hey, come over here. They walk over to the camera with the money in their hand. The money that's part of an active investigation. Hey, what are you going to do with that? Well, you're not going to do with it what you think it was going to happen. And guess what? They're going to see him on the camera. They're going to find him. Hey, we saw you on so-and-so with a handful of money that was part of an investigation. Where's it at? They're not going to have it. And guess what? They're going to own you now. They own you for worthless pieces of paper. Worthless. What's up, reigning woman? I was looking at this thing too. Let me show you guys this. Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. This right here. Okay. Oh man, are they gonna allow me to? Oh, I gotta allow ads. Just a second. Let me see this. Okay, let me read this to you guys. Okay. Gabriel had sent this. Let me see if I can make it all the way. There we go. Gabriel had sent this, who was an SMD family member, right? It says 43% of adults say they have financially cheated on their partner. Okay. This is November 18th. Now, I kind of want to read through it, but I pretty much know what it's going to say. Okay. So if you guys decide you guys want to check it out here, let me paste it in the chat just in case you guys want to read it. Anyway, it's what it's saying is people that are together that hide money, secret bank accounts, credit cards that their partner don't know about. It's just listen, you're married to the person, but you're doing financial things that they don't know about. That's financial infidelity. What debt slaves don't know is that you cannot build together if you guys don't know, if you're not on the same page with money. You can't. And if you get, I can only imagine, like, for example, and I don't even know if Google will ever even know this answer, but I wonder how many people that are together, boyfriend, girlfriend, married, it doesn't matter. You've been together for years and you've never seen your partner's personal credit report, not their credit score, their credit report. Like, hey, baby, yeah, you got Credit Karma app on your phone? Yeah. Why don't you log into that? I want to look at it. And this is serious. I want you to. Now, this is the person you're with. You have kids. You guys have sex. You guys been on vacation together. You've pretty much done everything. I want you to turn to your partner and say, hey, can I look at your personal credit report? See how they respond to you. Because if you're together, it should be like, sure, baby, let me go ahead and log in. And do you need my password, username and password? No? Okay. Just log into it. Okay, cool. Here you go. Give them the phone and walk away. But if you get you're with somebody that gets upset, what do you want to see that for? Why? You got to turn to him and say, well, why not? Aren't we together? Don't we got kids. What are you talking about? I know the majority of you hear me. You're probably even scared to ask him that question, probably nervous. And if you are, you got to say to yourself, why am I nervous? I'm with this person. We tell each other we love each other every day. What that got to do with it? It doesn't. That's included. And some of you are probably even scared because you know what you're going to find. You're going to find the answer to all of your financial problems. If you're with a person that's horrible with money, or their checks are come up, they make a certain amount, but somehow it's not making it to the house, whatever, their personal credit report is going to give you all your answers. Like, here's another thing. Like, if women get with a dude that has like multiple children, multiple different women, you got to naturally you got to naturally understand, okay, that means child support. Okay. And then you got to look at his job. Can this job afford 5, 6 kids? Probably not. That means he's probably behind on his child support. And there's other debts in there that you cannot see. And then you got to look at him and say, Well, how is he driving this nice car and he got jewelry on and nice shoes all the time? How? That's an illusion. You can't do that. You can't have nice clothes and nice cars and be behind on your child support with 5, 6, 7 kids. You can't do that. That's an illusion, mathematically speaking. You know, people like, it's crazy, man. People get married. They get married and don't even, it's not even a requirement to see their personal credit report first. They skip over all that. Sometime every now and then I'll catch a reality show, and let me tell you something. When you get out of the debt matrix, man, you really see how these shows are manipulating debt slaves with these reality shows. I mean, it's an embarrassment. You will clearly see that they're broke. They have no money. They're deep in debt. Yet they still believe they can go on vacations and buy stuff. It's just bananas. And they don't even know that these shows are using them. Like this one show, I think it's called Love After Lockup, right? Now, there's a black couple on there. Like this dude, he just got out of prison because he was breaking into pharmacies and stealing the drugs and selling, which is federal. That's federal. Breaking into pharmacies and stealing medicine and pills and shit like that and reselling it, you know, same old dumb stuff, right? He gets out after serving his time. He gets out, meets up with this woman, and they're talking about getting married and blah, 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 right? Now he's fresh out. So you already understand that he only can get certain type of jobs because now he's a felon, which 9 times out of 10 is not going to be making that much money. She's talking about getting married, have a baby, all this just crazy stuff. And then all of a sudden he springs on and says, oh, by the way, I have $160,000 in restitution to pay back. $160,000 in restitution. You know what that says? He's never paying that back. The only way he could possibly pay that money back is by starting his own business. He has to start his own business if he ever wants to pay, because no job that he's going to be able to get as a felon is going to make him enough money to pay back $160,000 in restitution. And that even leads me to a segue to my next thing I was thinking about, right? People that have been in jail, say like they went in jail at a young age and was in jail for 10 to 15 years, right? For whatever, right? When they get out, of course, their society tells them that they're a felon. You only get certain jobs and blah, 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 right? But what else they don't really understand is that they are financially ahead. They are closer to zero than the majority people that are been out working for the last 15 years, stacking up debt. They usually come out, no credit, no debt, and they think society makes them believe that they're behind. But what they really are, they're already at zero. If they could just wake up and say, okay, you know, I broke the law, did my time, I paid back society with the time in my life. I paid back society. Now I got to pay back this restitution. It's just fine for breaking the rules. That's all. But they don't really understand that they're at zero. They're at the prime opportunity to create their own business. Create your own business. Live a straight life from here on out. And you don't have to worry about your record because you own yourself. Like when I see shows like you know, say, hey, somebody's telling you to, you know, some financial person that's telling you how to live, and they went to prison for financial fraud. Now, I look at it in a couple of ways. There's two ways I look at that. Is what this person's doing right now legal? Okay, whatever he's doing legal, it's legal. He paid, and second, he paid back, messed up the first time, paid back society. Now, if he or she decides to repeat the process, that's on them. I just don't immediately judge them. I have to listen to how they speak. But the majority that I've seen, they figured out how to take money from debt slaves in a different way that's legal. Like MLMs, multi-level marketing, that's whoever invented that, they're absolutely brilliant. You know, their motto, hey, create this tree and then you put people under it, and this whole convoluted process. And then they push it as, hey, you always want to be a business owner. You are pretty much on your own. No, you're not. That's not true. No, you're not. And they, so crazy. They know it's brilliant because the majority of people that join MLMs, who do they go after first? They go after their family and friends. Straight to their family and friends. They don't join a group and immediately go to strangers and try to sell it. They go to family and friends. And then it's so crazy. And then once they burn out all their family and friends, and then because they make them also buy, it's the same thing. Family and friends, and then you got to constantly buy a product in order to get your percentage of whatever your family and friends are buying. I mean, this is absolutely brilliant, right? So you're buying this product. You're so focused in on the money, you're buying this product that you really don't believe in. And you got stacks of it, and you're not selling nothing. And then you're going to get tired, and then you're going to leave. Once you leave, your family and friends are still attached. Those people, they acquire their family and friends, get burnt out, but those new people are in it. Just you guys are just replacing everybody. I love it when they like take you to rent out these big ass stadiums, and then they put all the people up there that this product changed their life. They show you pictures of cars and houses and stuff. You guys don't, they could have put all those pictures from Google. You guys don't know. Nobody verifies it. Whose house is that? Whose name is it under? Nobody does that. What's up, Wayman, Dave? I have a relative who is married. His wife was in jail and he is paying her restitution. Wow. I'm not going to judge anybody. All I have to say about restitution is a punishment. Like, because I feel like this, like when I was getting out of debt, to pay back every single penny that I borrowed, it felt like a punishment. Because you guys really don't get it. To add up all your debt and then know you have to pay back every penny. You got to go out, work, and when you get your check, you got to pass it to the creditors. You know how hard that is? That's really hard. But even that part is part of the process. Paying back the money that you borrowed is part of the process because you are feeling it. For the next 3 to 5 years, however long it's going to take you to pay back all the money you borrowed, you are going to be the middleman for that amount of many years. You're going to get your check from your job and you're going to hand it to the creditors. Job, creditors. You're just the person handing the money. Knowing that you're going to do that for the next 3 to 5 years, that's tough. That was tough for me. I ain't gonna lie, that was tough. What's up, Snuggles? Not many people are going to do that. And the bigger picture is this, okay? All capitalist economies are psychological. In order for a psychological economy to work, the majority must remain in debt and not know they're in debt. They must psychologically not know. They must continue believing they're homeowners with 30-year mortgages. They must continue to believe that buy equals financing. They must continue to fight over which one is better, buying versus leasing. They're both financing, both of them. There is no difference. Both leasing, financing are still owned by the bank. That's all you need to know, is that they're not yours. All you need to know is they're not good because neither one will makes the vehicle yours. None of them do. What about people who finance a home to make it into an Airbnb, a so-called profit? What mind frame of debt slavery there? That's called business debt, though. This is different. That's a very good question. This is what I'd say to that, okay? Before you buy, thinking about Airbnb, make sure you have no personal debt. And if you're young, it's because I'm not against mortgages, because when you're young, you're young. You have time on your side, right? You say, like you say, I'm going to finance an Airbnb property. Number one, you will only accept the best mortgage on the market, whatever that is. I don't know which one that is. You go into the biggest bank in your city or town and you walk in and say, hey, man, I'm thinking about financing an Airbnb property. What is your best mortgage? What is the best mortgage you have to offer? And you accept none. You accept nothing less. Because if you did, that means you're not ready to buy. If you can't get the best mortgage on the market for the Airbnb property, you're not ready for a property. And when you get that property, when you get that mortgage and you get that property, yeah, you tell everybody outside of you that you are the owner of that property. Yes, okay, because they don't know the difference, right? But you never ever forget, you don't own that property until the bank has paid back their money. You are the manager of that property. You are the manager of the property. You are responsible for the bank's property. When you sign up for that, you are responsible for their property. You're responsible for paying insurance, the taxes, the upkeep, everything on their property. All they do is sit back and collect the monthly checks. They don't have to do anything. Until they pay back all their money, that's when you get the tax savings and you get appreciation and depreciation. I know you guys hear all that stuff out there in the world, but I promise you this, that's not yours until the bank gets back their money. Don't get me wrong, you can use that to pay off the property faster. There's a difference. Long as you understand that it's really not yours, but you are using that process to pay off the property quicker. That is not profit. That is a management fee. The bank's cut is usually 3 times to 5 times. See, what you guys don't understand is this. To the debt slaves, the banks know you have no money. You guys understand that? They know you have no money. Without the banks, your whole life couldn't exist. They know that. You don't know that. They know your life could not exist without them. If you're making car payments, they're included. You making mortgage payments? Yes, they're included there too. You got credit cards with multiple balances? They're included there. They're in every part of your life by choice. You guys choose to have the banks in your life. The banks are not big, bad, and evil. They're not taking anything away from you. They're not doing bad things. They're not ripping you off. You are choosing that process. You Do you guys know the stock market couldn't exist without you? You guys are indirectly investing in the stock market with the bank's money. Win or lose or whatever you invest in, they win because you still got to pay back their money. Say like you took 20,000 invested in something in the stock market and you lost it all. Guess what? You owe the bank $20,000 plus interest. And if you invested 20,000 and you won, guess what you're going to do? You're going to invest even more. Just like gambling, same thing. You're going to invest even more of the bank's money. I absolutely love what I do. Absolutely love what I do. But I also know that, like, you guys got to really understand something. When I teach here, when I read 5.4% of the population makes six figures, I can only imagine the percentage of the population that know what I'm sharing with you. I can't even imagine it. It's got to be zero. Hey, Andre, what do you think it is? 0.000 point half point negative zero. What is it? Times it by pi, split it in half. What's the percentage of the population that know the capitalist economies are psychological? What do you think that is? Honestly, man, I be feeling for you guys. Some of these channels you guys watch, man, I be feeling for you guys, man. You have no idea how much of the time in your life is being wasted on just nonsense. Now, I'm not saying it I want you guys to understand something. I'm not saying it in a negative way because, believe it or not, channels like that are very important to the economy that the majority can't see. That's important. That keeps you guys busy, keeps you guys entertained. While the real things are going on the outside of the outside, you guys can't see. You guys are entertained with nonsense. Other people's lives that have nothing to do with yours. What about your life? What? And I got to understand that is part of it. That is all part of it. It's got to be there. And it's so crazy. I always get people, they'll write, watch a video of mine or something. They'll say, how come you ain't got more views? Because that's how it's supposed to be. We must remain invisible. It has to be that way. And don't get me wrong, it gets frustrating. I ain't gonna lie. It gets very frustrating sometimes. It gets very frustrating. But I know my place. I know where I'm supposed to be. I do. I understand why. Because it's supposed to be that way. The majority must not know. The answer to capitalist economies. They can't know that. None of them can know that. You guys know what it's like walking around with this knowledge in my head, just walking around in everyday life, hearing people talk around. It's totally different. Just to watch people be told when to buy stuff, what's good, it's like let me give an example, like Gucci, right? Gucci has branded their stuff so good that people advertise for them. Have you noticed that? When's the last time you seen a Gucci commercial? When's the last time? They don't have to. People advertise for them. Now I think to myself, how long did it take Gucci to get to that point? How long? How long did it take Gucci to take a product and sell it for 10 times the price? Same shirt, same pants, same belt, and charge 10 times the price and have people pay for it and advertise for them for free, and brag. Listen, and brag about their product, and brag about it. Brag about spending $1,000 on a belt. You guys got to understand, how long did that take? Because anybody can make a belt. Try to make a belt as yourself. Go make a belt and then sell it for $1,000. Try to do that. People will look at you like you are absolutely bananas. $1,000 belts. Are you insane? Who are you? But Gucci can, and it's never even questioned. Have you noticed that? That's banana. I wonder how long that took. You see that? When I look at that, that's where I'm going. I'm creating legacy. This is just not this is just not hey, he's just trying to create a business. And well, yeah, that's true. That is true. But I'm creating legacy. I'm changing people's lives. Welcome, Corey Henry, new member. Appreciate you. Changing lives. Hold up. I'm trying to do something here. Like, when you have you guys noticed, like, you'll see me on panels, right? Now, normally, whatever channel I'm getting on, the panels be full. But when I get up there, you can hear a mouse piss on cotton. You know why that is? Because I come with the truth, the mathematical truth. People don't really understand it because that's what I call the glitch in the debt matrix. In order for you to see outside the debt matrix, you have to believe the calculator. If you ever want to see outside the debt matrix, you have to look at the calculator and then you have to believe it. You have to believe it. Is there a difference between personal debt slave and business debt slave? Or slaves are just slaves? There's a difference. That's a very good question. Okay. First, you must own the business of yourself. How do you own the business of yourself? By paying off all your owners. Who are your owners? Log into your credit report. You'll see a list of businesses that all own a piece of you. You are their business. And if you are their business, that means you don't own the business of yourself. So first, you got to own before opening a business outside of yourself, you must own the business of you. Because debt slaves don't know. They just think there's only one type of EIN number. There's two. There's an employee identification number and an employer identification number. But in order to get the employer identification number, you have to own your own personal SSN number. You must own that first. Once you own that, and then you open a business and you have to use some kind of debt to open your business, you are going to know that that person right there is not really a debt slave because they own themselves. They know the purpose of business debt because they know the business debt is not tied to them personally. They know the business debt is not tied to them personally, and they will also know that business debt is not paid back personally. It's paid back by your customers. Your customers will pay back that debt along with taxes and all this other stuff that goes with it. But if a person's in personal debt and then they go to open a business and they need a business loan, those are slaves. Those are debt slaves. They own nothing personally or business. They're just slaves. And believe it or not, they're part of it too. Just like millions of people believe they're homeowners with mortgages, millions of people with business loans must believe that they're business owners. That's important because, again, the majority, in order for a capitalist economy to work, the majority must be in debt, business or personal. It must be in debt. Snuggle says, you are saying the same thing that Robert Kiyosaki said that when he was talking to Fresh and Fit, but I don't think he explained it in that way so everyone could know what was he talking. Well, he's never going to explain it that way because that's bad for business. Explaining what I'm saying about Mr. Kiyosaki that would be bad for business. It's like if Robert could really say something like this, hey, by the way, you really unless you have money, you really can't do what I'm telling you guys to do. That would be bad for business. When rich people talk to regular people, they seem to not differentiate business debt and regular debt. They put everything together. Can you tell me why is that? Why do they do when rich people talk to regular people? They seem to not differ. Well, okay, so that's a very good question too. All right. Rich is defined. Let's first to start with this. Rich is defined differently by each person. Each person has a different version of rich. Okay, let's make that clear. Number two, people with money, when they speak about money, they always differentiate the two. Okay, they mainly, yeah, Andre's right. They mainly talk about business debt. Now, and sometimes, okay, I see what you're saying. Sometimes they don't because they're assuming that you know what they're talking about. The difference is that what sometimes it doesn't seem like, because there's a difference between the people that you hear, people that you believe have money, they keep bouncing back from personal debt to business debt. Now that could be just a business move, or they could literally not know what they're saying. Okay, it's very. It counts on what it's being done for, because you got to understand, debt slaves do not know the difference between the two. They can't know. They can't know because they're in personal debt. Yes, it's just yeah, you're right, Andre. It's assumed. It is assumed. Now, what I do is that I pay attention to it. Okay, especially when I'm talking to debt slaves or I'm listening to a financial person. Sometimes I can. It's sometimes it's just mixed message. You got to understand, when you hear wealthy people talk, they're talking to debt slaves and they're talking to people with money at the same time, because they're kind of showing you how much money they're making from debt slaves, at the same time showing the people that understand money, hey, look, you can do this too. This is all you got to do. Well, if you're tired, now, no, let me take it back once. I understand how tough this must be. Okay, it's a reality check. Okay, it's very, here you are growing up all your life. You've been told you can't do anything without credit. You can't buy anything without credit. And then you come across the SMD channel. I say, that's not true. You're fighting. You're like, wait a minute, everybody around me, they're getting rich off of real estate. They keep telling me real estate is what to do. And then I say, that's not true. Yeah, no, it's true, but not the way you're thinking about it. Like, let me give you an example. Somebody's telling you that you can invest with an FHA mortgage. FHA mortgages are for people that don't know that you can't do that. Okay, that's for people that really don't know that you can't do that. Hardly no money. You got to listen. Hardly no money down. Okay, first of all, you can't buy anything if you don't have money. You can't buy it. The only way to buy something is cash. Okay, and then they come across to say, hey, you can invest with this type of FHA mortgage, right? No, hardly no money down. This and that. As soon as you hear hardly no money down, that you already know who they're talking to. Debt slaves, because they have no money. As soon as you hear that, you got to understand, if you're debt free, you got to, like when I hear something like that, I automatically know that they're not talking to me. I already know they're talking FHA. They're not talking to me, obviously. After listening to you for over a year, I literally realized it's easy to become rich if you create an LLC or some sort of company and put the assets you want into it. Correct. Like I was saying earlier, that cross, let me tell you guys something, okay? The cross from W-2 worker, because you got to remember, when you're a W-2 worker, everything that's tax related, the job does everything for you. Everything. All they do is they do everything. They just want you to show up to work. And for the life of me, let me tell you something. And for the life of me, I don't really understand this. And maybe, Andre, you can answer this question. I don't know why the IRS requires people that have jobs to file the tax return. I don't know why I don't know why they do that. If they already know everything. I don't get why they want you to do it at the end. I know there's a reason for it. I know it is. I'm not saying it's a bad or good. It just, even when I was in the debt matrix, I was like, wait a minute. They take all the taxes out of my check before I even get my money. I get my net income. Net income means they got all the taxes they needed to get from you from your net income. They took it already, right? So why do I have to file something at the end of the year? I don't get it. They do everything for you. And then when you get out and you start creating, now you got to relearn this part of the system that the businesses have been doing for years. The judges need their pensions. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. If you buy everything with a business, you can literally live like a rich person, but take on none of the debt or responsibility. Exactly. So if you lose it, it's always easy to start another business, especially if you're doing something that you love. You're debt free, and then you create a business doing something that you love. And you understand taxes help you build wealth, and you go on and you get business, and to get your product, you buy it through the business license. You get your product cheaper than the regular. I mean, the savings just goes on, which is called phantom income. Really, it's called phantom income. The savings go on and on and on. On and on and on. It's endless. I mean, my eyes are still opening. You know, you get over that fear of being scared of taxes and the IRS. I promise you, once you start putting the blocks in order, the IRS is going to know. They're going to be able to mathematically see what you're doing. They're like, oh, okay, he or she is putting the pieces together. So they're obviously on the track to paying their taxes properly. Because you guys, the majority of you that you do not, that's obvious to see too. That's obvious to see. I think if people put themselves into position of creating business and put everything into a business instead of using their own personal, they would too. But again, even with that, Snuggles, you're saying it's a trick. It's not a trick. People choose to be debt slaves by choosing not to trust the calculator. Debt slaves are choosing that. Enigma says, hey, LJ, great conversation. I enjoy sitting back, listening to the content. Keep up the good work. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. The correct amount is kept secret. Yeah, I bet it is. That's why it's called magic. Once you guys get out of the system, you're going to have a whole new respect for capitalist economies. Not just ours, any capitalist economy. Any capitalist economy, any. You know, it's like, think about it. Here, let me give you an example. We have a student loan debt problem here in the US. Okay? Huge, right? What a coincidence. So does Canada. That's weird. Canada has the same problem as we do. That is weird. People over there are complaining about taxes. They are too here in the US. They're complaining about taxes. Wow, that's weird. Know why? Because all capitalist economies are the same. The majority must be in debt. That's it. You get to choose which side of the capitalist economy you want to be on. Trust in the calculator or you don't. That's totally up to you. That's your choice. If you go finance a Tesla and believe you're saving money on gas, you are choosing not to trust the calculator. Therefore, you are on the wrong side of the economy. You can't do that. You can't save money on gas financing a Tesla. Who told you that? The bank? Most business owners have personal guarantees, debt slaves still. Exactly. You think I knew that? I didn't know that till I got out of debt. The majority of people that open business, they be putting personal guarantees, piercing the veil. Can't do that. No. Is this personally guaranteed? No. But debt slaves, you guys don't know that. You guys don't know that? You got a personal guarantee? That's it. That's pierced. I don't do that. So if I contact you, would you help me create it? I don't do that. I don't help people create businesses. What I do is I help you own the business of yourself. That's what I do. Now, what I suggest once you own a business of yourself and you decide to create a business and you go look for an accountant for your business, or you go look for something that's related money to you know what you're going to do? You're going to make sure the person that's helping you is debt free personally. Like, don't ever hire an accountant who's in student loan debt. That wouldn't make sense. Don't hire an accountant that owes IRS back taxes. You understand? Or is in that has student loan debt as well. You don't hire people like that because they don't own the business of themselves, especially in those two categories, an accountant and a tax professional. You would not do that. You don't do that. Taxes are your main tool for wealth, for sure. Taxes. Even the fear of IRS and the agent, that's all part of the program. You guys do know that. If you just follow the rules, why would you be afraid of them? You wouldn't have to be, because you're following the laws. That's like driving down the road, a 35-mile-an-hour road, and you're driving 35, right? Would you be looking out for the police, radar detectors, and all that stuff? Would you be looking for them? You wouldn't even be looking for them. Why? Because you're following the law. The only time you start looking for the police if you're driving down a 35 doing 70. Now you're going to be looking on the side of the roads or using some kind of app to try to look for the police. Why? Because you're breaking the law. Or can I still work a regular person and create a business and have the job pay me into my business account, and I can, I get money through that. I mean, that's how it works. I mean, you really, you have a regular job. This is what I strongly suggest you do, Snuggles. Look for something that you're going to be happy doing. Don't be trying to do something because somebody told you it makes a lot of money or whatever. You got to remember what's a lot of money to a person. You know, if somebody says, "Oh man, doing this over here makes a lot of money," you turn to that person and say, "What's a lot of money to you?" because a lot of money is different for a lot of people. Rich is a lot of money for a lot of people. Making six figures, you know how many people at 5.4% of the US population make six figures? Do you know how many people are out there wishing to make six figures? That's why they use six figures all the time in different on different channels on YouTube. You know why? Because only 5.4% of the population ever do it. And they know the rest of you guys are wishing for it. Man, I wish I could. When all you got to do is get out of debt and you're like, oh, wow, that was the wrong way. That's the wrong way. What's up, Omanique? IRS is to be respected and employed. IRS is to respected and employed. Follow the rules. Say W-2 employees don't even use the code that is available to them. See, we don't, you know what? And this is so crazy about W-2. I remember I would get I think it's the W-4, right? Where you can change stuff, right? On there's a box that you can check to say, don't take out any federal tax or something like that, right? And when I was working and I would look at that, I would think to myself, why would anybody check that box? It just, to me, it just seems like I don't know. It seems like a trap door or something. I don't know, man. I just was looking at, first of all, I would never check that box because I'm like, well, paying taxes is part of the law. So you have to, why would I check that box, right? But then when I got out of debt and started this business, I realized how many people actually checked that box and left it checked for years. You understand what I'm saying? People would go in there and check that box and leave it checked for years because they would have a fatter check because none of the taxes would be taken out. So they would let it go 3 years, probably max 3 years, right? Then they send a letter. Hey, man, because you better believe their employer is doing their taxes properly. Okay, I guarantee you that. And then when they come across you and see you haven't been paying any federal tax for 3 years, they're gonna be like, "Hey, well, where's that money at? What you doing?" And the majority of people that check that box, they're not gonna have the money. So not only is the government the IRS gonna get that money back, they're gonna get it plus penalties and fees for doing it. What does that pretty much mean? Owned for life? 3 years of not paying taxes? They're not paying that back. They're owned for life. Plus interest and penalties and fees, they're owned. Now again, I don't know. I don't know. I just always thought that was weird. 6 million in one day is a lot of money to me. That's why I trade stocks. 6 million in one day is a lot of money to me. That's why I trade stocks. Yeah, 6 million in one day. Yeah, that is a lot of money. I agree. What does that have to do with trading stocks, though? I'm curious. 6 figures on W-2 is a problem. Yeah, it was, and that's what forced me to start understand tax, reducing my tax bracket. Check that box if you are in high school or junior high school and not the high school. What? Not the high school and not making much money. Yeah, I'm not a tax person. I don't know, but I just thought that was weird. But when I came across a couple clients that had done that kind of just blew my mind. I was like, whoa. And not to say the clients were dumb or stupid or whatever. No, it's not about that. It's like, it's just to say how strong the program is, because to logically believe that you're not going to get a letter or the IRS is not going to contact you after not paying your federal taxes for 3-4 years, that something is psychologically wrong to think like that. You can't believe that. But people do it. Blows my mind. And same thing with the it has nothing to do with kids, but you can claim up to you had a crazy number of not dependents or something. You know what you guys know what I'm saying. You can put any number in that box that you want. I was like, even again, when I was in the debt matrix, I used to say to myself, I can put any number in that box. You sure can? Yes, you can. Yep. I'm like, why is that so open? And that just, even back then, I used to think to myself, that just seems like a trap. Because if you got people that already believe the taxes that are being taken out of their check is the reason why they don't have any money, right? They already believe that. They were like, man, I wish I could bring home that gross income, but man, look how much tax they take out. And you give them an option on their W-4, whatever, to say, if you check this box, we're going to stop taking taxes out of your check. Can you imagine how many people are checking that box? Put an amount of dependence, some crazy amount of dependence in there, and He says, Stephen Duck's the Asian that got me back into trading stocks. He just made $6 million 2 or 3 Fridays ago in one day. His new goal is 9 figures in 3 years, 100 million trading, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me ask you something, Steve or Heat. How do you know Stephen Ducks made $6 million in one day? Where did you learn? Did Stephen tell you, or who told you that? Did you Google this information? Who says that? I used to check that box in high school. I'm all 1099 now. See, high school is different because, it's like the IRS knows if you're 15, 14, what are you going to be doing? You're not going to be making that much money. So really not. But when you're an adult, these are adults checking that box. Adults. He audits his stuff on his channel. It will be audited. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not saying that he didn't. But all I'm saying, and I'm not saying that don't watch him. I want to make sure that's clear. I'm just very careful on when I see, because if you ask put it this way, if you ask a debt slave, you say, hey, do you think you can retire on $1 million for the rest of your life? Now the answer is yes. You could have one. If I had $1 million in cash, and that's with no investment. I say $1 million sitting in the bank. Okay, cash. All right, earning nothing. I want you guys tricky. But I had no debt with a paid off house. Okay, I have no debt with a paid off house and $1 million cash in the bank. I would never work again for the rest of my life, ever. I would live lovely. Lovely. Not saying that I would do that. I'm just giving you guys as an example. Oh yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Low numbers, yeah, but these are adults making great salaries. Yes, he told us traders report on their tradings, nothing big. I don't know. If he's a U.S. citizen, half of it goes to the government. And even, when you get out of the debt matrix, even that is not a big deal. Say Say like you made $1 billion and you had to pay a half of that to taxes. Would you really care? Do you think you could survive on 500 million? If you had to give half of it to the government, do you think you could survive on 500 million? Lonzo says when people say made X amount, it's due to their portfolio accretion. However, just like Bitcoin, unless someone buys that 6 million worth of stocks, he is at zero. People don't understand the charts they view. Just like Bitcoin, unless someone buys that 6 million worth of stock. It's I want, when you guys are out here, especially in a debt matrix, I want to simplify. I want to simplify this economy for you so you can understand how simple it is. Because I, as a person that's trying to save money, retire, this got to be very confusing when you're out there. You don't know who to listen to. Everybody say they're making money. Everybody's saying that they're a professional in this newfound cryptocurrency. They're making X amount. They're trading stocks at this, and they're making. All you got to do is just say this. Let me see your personal credit report. Do you have student loan debt? Are you making car payments? If they answer yes to any of those things, they're not doing what you think they are doing because they can't. You cannot invest when you're in debt. You can't. You cannot invest when you have student loan debt. You can't do that. You're making car payments. You can't do that. E-Man says inflation will be ridiculous in the future. When you're out of debt, you won't care about inflation. Who pays inflation? Debt slaves pay inflation. People with money don't pay for inflation. Debt slaves pay for inflation. Inflation goes to debt slaves. It looks like that in a real, hey, we're charging more taxes for this business over here because of inflation. Guess what I'm going to do if I own the business? I'm going to increase the price of my product. You guys are going to pay for it, not me. When I hear about inflation and, debt slaves love to say something like this. I'm not saying you are, even, but debt slaves love to talk about inflation, how the dollar is getting worthless. And then they believe a psychological currency is going to be worth than the only physical dollar allowed in the United States of America. So you think a physical dollar is devaluing, which is the only one you can use here, but a psychological currency is somehow increasing in value, something that don't even exist? Anybody telling you about cryptocurrency? I'm telling you the questions to ask them. Do you have student loan debt? What about car payments? What's your credit score? Those are the questions you ask. I'm going to take out all this complexity about all this trickery and stuff inside. Those are tricks. Those are tricks. Oh man, fiat currency. I love it. These fancy words that the banks have made up for the debt slaves to believe. Fiat currency and this and that, and the value of the dollar ain't gonna be. Do you got student loan debt? Yeah, that's why you think it's fiat currency and the value of the dollar is going up and down and seesawing. You can believe whatever they tell you, whatever Google tells you it's doing. You believe it, don't you? Why? Because you got student loan debt. That's why you believe that. You know why you believe in cryptocurrency? Why? Because you're making car payments. That's why you have an 84-month car loan. That's why you believe in cryptocurrency. That's why they want. why they want to tax unrealized gains. Hey, man, I'm telling you this, E-Man, don't worry about that stuff. That's for debt slaves. Don't worry about that stuff. Oh my God, the IRS. Well, they must be doing something. Okay, well, let me go back and read through the laws again. They must be offering some tax breaks somewhere else. When you see, like, when I see stuff like this, and I'm not even at that level yet, I'm just telling you my version of it. When I see the IRS change some rules over something that's like, oh, okay, too many people must know about this hole. This is what I picture. Too many people that understand money, they realize this hole, they're making a lot of money. So they're going to close it or do something, right? But then on the other end, they're going to say, hey, but if you do this, we'll give you a tax break on this. So they just shift the money. They got to change some things. Everybody starts to, I mean, if too many people catch on or know or wake up or something, they just change it. That's all. It's just a change. Nothing can stay the same forever. Now that when I see things like that, they're just doing they're tidying it up, right? They already changed the IRS. They had an overhaul to go according to the new economy 2020 on. And they probably like, oh shit. Oh, we forgot to change that unrealized gains. Let's tidy that up. Let's change that, whatever. And they're going to find some more. There's going to be some more little holes that they got to, they can't get everything. They got to change the laws and make sure they keep track of you guys, because you guys cannot be running around unconscious debt slaves. You guys can't be running around unattended. They got to pay attention to you while they're rewriting the laws, because the laws are going to go according to what you guys do. So they got to change it, look at what you guys are doing, change it, look at what you guys are doing, change it. Okay, this should last for the next 80 years. Okay, just leave it right there. So while you guys are busy trying to make money or do something in the psychological with a psychological currency, they're in the background changing stuff. Oh, the banks are never going to know this. The IRS won't catch that. Whatever you guys believe in your brains, whatever. But understand this: the only currency that you can use here is U.S. currency. So you're going to take your psychological money, believing that it's untraceable or they can't find it or whatever the fuck you guys believe, right? Then you're going to exchange it into physical currency. That's what, okay, all right. They know you're doing it so you can access physical currency. At some point in time, you're going to do that. And you're going to want that currency to come to you. And then you can go on believing that you didn't transfer it, whatever you want to believe. And then one day they're just going to send you the letter, which you will probably ignore. Or you say you didn't get, whatever. I mean, it's the same. You guys do the same thing over and over and over. It's almost embarrassing, really. I just knew when I was in the debt matrix, let me tell you something. When I was in the debt matrix, I just knew not to fuck around with my taxes. I just knew that. He's a citizen. At 16, he moved to Seattle with his family from China. Oh, he moved to Seattle. Okay. Small country. He moved out of Seattle now. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Seattle. I figured that much. I mean, that's what I see, Andre. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. When I saw that unsubsidized gains and stuff, I was like, well, I ain't got nothing to worry. I don't own anything like that to really worry about that right now. So I'm not going to really worry about it. I'm not even there yet. You see all these people that don't own nothing. They worried about that. Hey, man, you do know you don't even own that, whatever you think you own, right? That's the banks. But it's a psychological. Go try to tell a homeowner that they're not a homeowner with a mortgage. They're going to look at you like you are crazy, like something's wrong with you. So whenever you hear like realty and stuff like that, and no money down, when you hear no money down, right there, they're talking to debt slaves. That's when you know right away who they're talking to. Little to no money down, 90 days, same as cash. All this. No, it's not. What do you mean 90 days? 90 days, same. What are you talking about? How can a day be the same as cash? What are you talking? I don't get it. 90 days, same as cash. What? So Monday is going to turn into money? What are you talking about? No, that they're not talking to you. No money down, little, no, hey, no, and it's little to no money down. And then in the same sentence, they talk invest. You can't invest with no money. You can't do that. You can't do none of that. Understanding SMD, this is what your life will be like. You'll be walking around, family and friends, as they're all speaking debt, and you can't say a word. You can't say a word. You just got to let them be. Just let them do what they do. I don't know. I don't know, man. I be watching these Tesla reviews, okay? I just be watching these Tesla reviews. And all the people that finance Teslas and do a review on it, they all tell you how much the Tesla costs as if they paid cash for it. Now I got the sports model Tesla, or the high performance model. Now, if you can afford it, because this one's like 75,000, but if you can't really afford that, you can go ahead and get the base model with the less range. And then you know what I type in the content or the comments? I say, did you pay cash for that? And they come back, no, I financed it. Then why are you telling us the price of the car? You didn't buy it. The car cost $75,000 for who? The bank, not you. Who do you think you're making payments to? Tesla or the bank? The bank writes checks to Tesla. The bank does. And people that can afford to buy a Tesla in cash. Two places, the bank and the people who can afford to buy Teslas in cash. This car is $75,000 for who? What are you talking about? Why are you telling us the price of the car and you didn't have no money to buy it? You're making payments. And then you're going to make it. I mean, these guys, listen, these guys be having cameras on the inside of the car, outside of the car, 4K video, all the nice, expensive camera equipment all set up on the side of the car, driving down the road, different angles. And then all I do is type in it. Did you pay cash for this car? You financed it. So every camera you see, every video you see, all the cameras inside, you got to understand all those cameras are financed. Whatever laptop he's using to edit the video, to upload it, all of it's financed. All of it. Now, don't get me wrong. If I was buying a Tesla, I would love to go to their professional looking reviews. Yeah, because who are they talking about? People who pay Teslas in cash are going to do those savings, not people who finance Teslas. The review, like the review that they're giving, I'm not saying it's not valid. It's just not valid for them. It's valid for those of you that pay cash for Teslas. Everything they're reviewing, hey, this performance model costs this. You can get this range, electricity, and the tires do this, and blah, blah, blah. For people who pay cash, yes. Okay, agreed. Not for people who finance it. Most of the people are leasing them. Come back and say, I had a couple dudes say, no, I lease it because I like to upgrade every 3 years. Ooh, you probably do the same thing with your phone. Upgrade your phone every 2-3 years. Believe that the phone company is going to buy you out of your old contract or whatever. Believe that you're going to buy you. That you guys believe all that. Hey, trade in your old phone and we'll give you $300 credit. Give you virtual money for your phone. Not even cash. They have you trade in your old phone and they say, hey, we'll give you $400 or $500 for your old phone towards a new phone. You're not giving me $400 or $500. That's credit. That's psychological currency. They didn't give you anything for anything. They got the phone for free. The only money that they really have to hand over is the company that they're buying you from. You got to remember, this is how they trade slaves. This is how they trade debt slaves. They're buying you. Do you understand that? So say like you're with AT&T, right? And you're trying to switch over to Verizon, but you still owe money on your phone that's tied to AT&T. AT&T says if you want this slave, it's going to cost you $1,000. Now you better believe Verizon is not crediting. They're not looking at AT&T and say, "Hey, we're going to credit you $1,000." No, they're going to write them a check for $1,000. This is how much you want this slave. It's going to cost you $1,000. Then they're going to pay the $1,000, bring you over. Now they own you, and then they're going to bury you deeper with a newer phone. Get your old phone from you for free because they're going to give you credit, virtual money, psychological money. And then they're going to tie you into a new phone with the money that because they're going to get that money back that they paid for you from the old company. They got to get their $1,000 back. So you're going to pay that plus the price of the new phone and whatever else they land into that contract for the new phone. This is how they trade slaves. You know, when they're buying and selling mortgages in the background, that's slave trading. And then all of a sudden you get some paperwork in the mail. Hey, we're the new owners of the loan you had with the mortgage. No, what they're saying is that, hey, we are your new owners. You will now be paying us because we bought you. We bought you from the old company. Now you're at home upset. Oh man, now I got to rewrite and send it to a new address and blah, blah, blah. Whatever, slave, whatever. Are you, hey, are you tired of being traded? You don't want that in your life? You done with that? When you move, you got to know. Listen, when you move, you got to notify all your owners of your new address. Did you hear what I said? When you move, you got to notify your owners of all your owners of your new address. Boy, I tell you, this is where I'm at. Shout out to Omanike for the Cash App donation. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. You guys probably never thought about it that way, did you? Probably never have. Just think it's normal. When I move, I probably have to notify my car insurance company or something, you know. That's about it. Oh, change address on some business documentation. That's about it. No, that's it. Taxes, something like that. But you got to notify all the credit card companies, car loan place, mortgage place, furniture rental place, refrigerator, washer and dryer place, all that. You better tell your owners where you're moving to. They need to keep track of you. One of those people scared to go to the mailbox. Oh my God, I don't want to go to the mailbox. It's going to be just what? Bills? Debt. Yeah, that's what it is. When you get out of debt, nothing's in there but junk mail. And that's irritating. I don't like going to the mailbox because I don't feel like dealing with the junk mail. coming in the mailbox. Hey, look, we got some more debt for you. And the big one is that they like to send you some mail, and then when you look at it, it looks like a check is inside. Oh, the businesses love doing that one. Make it look like it's a check inside. That should be cracking me up, man. Be cracking me up. I'll be like, I guess they don't know who they're sending. They don't know this. They just mass send this stuff. They don't know who they're sending it to. I just crack up. I got a shredder right by the door. So when I come in from the mailbox, anything with my name on it or whatever, I just drop it right in the shredder, and throw the rest of the stuff into the garbage, junk mail. I don't hardly get mail, so no mail stacks up. Say it like this. Here's another sign that if you're a debt slave, right? If you got stacks of unopened mail, that's a problem. If you have stacks of like, you know how they send you your retirement information, and you got stacks of envelopes that you've never opened regarding it, that's a problem. I mean, if you let it, yes, if you let it, for sure. And sometimes I really do wonder, I've been doing this for quite a while. I do. And I knew getting into this business, I knew it wasn't going to be profitable right away, because people got to really shift their mindset. They have to shift to understand it. So thank God I have another business. Thank God I have another business. Thank God. Right? Even though I know this business is the one that's going to make me multi-millions of dollars. I do know that. I already know that. But I knew it was going to be a tough road, because I'm not selling anything. I don't have to sell it, because everything I'm doing I can prove. So I don't really have to sell. It's just up to the person to believe it or not. It's totally up to them. But when you see, and this is what I do, okay? When you see people making a lot of money off of bullshit, right? I don't hate on that. Like, I'm like, oh my God, they're making so much. No, I don't do it, because they're doing what society wants. So they're making a lot of money from it. I totally get it. Totally understand it. Right. But when you have, like, knowing that I have something that can change a person's life and their generation of life, right? Their whole generation, because your whole life is going to change, right? I know that it's worth more than there is no amount of money to what this information is worth. It's unlimited, because I know very few people will ever know it, will ever be free, will ever really understand, because that's how it's supposed to be. It has to be that way. The majority must not know, right? It gets frustrating sometimes. It does. I ain't gonna lie, it does. Because sometimes I look and say, damn, man, they're making that much money on bullshit. Making people believe that, it's the same old thing. Make people believe you can get rich fast. Everybody, the majority of people that start out, they come out with a car, chains, jewelry, a private jet, walking on or off a private. I mean, it's the same, like a cookie cutter spreadsheet. Them walking off a private jet, walking on the jet with bags, with Gucci bag. It's like the same, with a car parked right outside next to the jet. It just makes it. And again, I get it. I know it's weird. Believe it or not, that those people are needed. It's to keep you guys confused to believing that money is a look. Money doesn't look like anything. Money is not a look. Money doesn't look like an expensive exotic car. That's not true. Who told you that? Money doesn't look like a big house. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Money's not dressed in Gucci. Do you guys get it? It doesn't. No. Do you understand? People with money, they don't want you to see them. Even when I become a multimillionaire, you guys are not going to see it. You're not going to see it. I'm not going to show you. Money doesn't look like anything, but that's what they use to sell to you. That's it. But that's just business. What is that? The next Black Wall Street, LJ. What do you mean by that? What it really is like, man, if I don't know why now, this age, because I always tell people, man, if I had this knowledge at 20, I'd be bigger than Tony Robbins right now. If I had this knowledge at 20, I'd be bigger than Tony Robbins. And the reason why I say Tony Robbins, because I think he's the biggest motivational speaker in the world. I think so. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but in the United States, at least. Do you guys understand what I know is bigger than that? To have discovered capitalist economies are psychological. And I can say it out loud. What's so powerful about I can say it out loud and nobody understands what I mean. What do you mean? What are you talking about? That's powerful. That's why I'm comfortable saying out loud. It doesn't matter. They can't hear me. Debt slaves can't hear a word I'm saying. That's powerful. And the young adults with children, you free yourself, you're going to naturally pass this down to your children, naturally. What's up, Robert?
Hey, good morning. Happy Sunday to you.
Hey, good afternoon, sir. Just after 12.
Yes, well, yeah. Man, you are a prophet.
What's going on? What's up, man? What you mean?
I had some people, I had some of my close buddies tell me that I should get a delivery job. Like, you know how Amazon does delivery, how Grubhub do delivery jobs. He was telling me that he has so much freedom to drive and go out and make deliveries and make so much money a week. So red flags came up in my head. So I started asking questions. I was like, wait. So I was like, are you an independent contractor? He said yes. And a red flag threw up because I'm like, I know you contracted through the company, which means they're not paying you for insurance. And he said yes. I'm like, they do debt slaves 30.
Well, when you say independent contractor, that means he's working for himself.
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's not a bad thing.
No, like when you do deliveries for Amazon, it's like you working for like an outside company of Amazon.
Correct. Right. But if he does it right, I see what you're saying, though. I do see what you're saying. And they're not, I mean, that's just the new way they're doing, making them 1099 so they have to pay no insurance for them. I mean, that's smart. It's sort of like Uber, right?
Yeah.
Uber makes billions of dollars, but they own no cars and they have no employees.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So if he's doing it right, he might be good, but I don't know if you can hear him slave explaining it or not.
No, I heard him say slave explaining. He was like, I have less bills than him. And it's like, he has to do a lot of more stuff by himself, and plus, the whole child support thing. And I was like, that's not an ideal, because he did a lot of things. And then my ex-wife, she called. We was talking, just seeing how each other was doing. She was like, "Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do a delivery job?" And it's like people kept on referencing me to do delivery jobs to make extra money, but I'm not like struggling or anything like that. It's just
Right, right,
they saying it so they can get like extra bonuses and stuff.
right, right. Well, that's the future, right?
Yeah,
Pretty soon we're gonna have 24-hour delivery. That's coming. That's definitely coming.
indeed.
I mean,
I
because you
just
got to think about it. Everything's become like. Have you noticed that the pharmacies are slowly closing down because of
yes,
Amazon? Have you noticed
yes.
that?
I know. Like I think 80 CVS stores are closing. I
I
definitely
heard
heard
about
about
that.
that.
I heard about
Yeah,
that.
yes,
I knew
indeed.
that was going to happen. As soon as I heard Amazon was going to do medicine delivery, I was like, "Oh boy, pharmacies are in trouble."
Yeah, they shutting them down pretty hard.
So now that means they're going to need more people to now deliver pharmacy products.
And the credit card agencies, they just clapping. They was like, yes,
Oh yeah, oh
because
yeah.
because I was remember the article you posted up about that about delivery drivers. I was like, darn it, LJ was right again.
It seems like stuff like that seems obvious to me. It just
Yeah,
seems it just seems obvious. It's like, okay, well, that means if they're taking delivery of medicine, that means pharmacies are no longer going to be needed.
nope.
And half
Yeah,
those like CVS, they sell most of their stuff is sold due to people coming in to get their medicine, right?
right,
Because you don't think about CVS if you want to go pick up some milk or some orange juice. Oh, let me go to CVS. You don't think like that, right? You think the
right.
grocery store.
Yeah, exactly. Walmart doing it's like, yeah, you're right. That is the future, man. It's just wow. Like you was right, and I just had to say that because like it was yesterday. He was telling me about all the wonderful things of delivery services jobs and
Oh
stuff of
yeah.
that nature. And I was like, wait a minute, LJ said something about that. So I went back and watched saw what you posted. I was like, oh, there it is.
There it is. Yeah, people, you know, it's obvious that delivery is the future, period, right? They're
Right.
going to need people faster. People want faster and faster and faster anytime they want. And then they want 24-hour delivery. I mean, it's getting like, I remember one time I got a delivery at 6 a.m. as late as 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Now I had a buddy man. She yes on Thanksgiving they Walmart delivered her toys, like her toys for her kids on Thanksgiving Day.
On Thanksgiving Day.
Yep, and the driver
Wow.
he was like, wait a minute, you working on Thanksgiving Day? It's like, yeah, man, we gotta make this money.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's another form of slave slavery. They have to be. They be like, I'm trying to make as much money as I can. When you constantly working all this overtime, yeah, that means they in debt.
Yes. Oh, they be happy. Oh man, I'm getting in that overtime. You want to go. So you rather, instead of spending time with your family and enjoying the day, you'd rather be getting that overtime money. Okay, whatever.
I know that's what I said too. It's just a shame, but it's business.
It's business. Nothing is nothing I mean, you guys told me about them Amazon factories, man. I would never work in there ever.
Yeah, it just took me years to realize it, but like looking back on it, I mean, I don't have no looking back on it now, it's just that yeah, I would have done things much differently, but I don't have regrets about it.
Correct. Correct.
I had to feel it.
Correct. You got to feel it. You're right. You got to feel it. You got to feel it. It's when you outside looking in, you respect the system. It's not bad, whatever. You don't feel bad for people. They just got to do what they got to do, but they don't know they have a choice.
Yep,
They don't
exactly.
know. They don't know the thing that probably got them to work is the reason why they have to work there.
Mm-hmm.
With
Which
that
is
car parked outside, they finance a car, but they're at work 12 hours a day.
Yep, that's how it is. I'm glad you brought up that salary, because my managers, man, they be working like he had a meeting one day. He was like he had to work 14 hours one day, and
Ooh,
he's salary.
ooh.
I was like, ouch. He was pissed off at us because it's like we went wrong with the orders, and he was like, I
Mhm.
was working 14 hours a day, and y'all just hourly. I just looked at everybody else and I started smiling.
He's probably sound like he's salary.
He is. He said it. Yeah. So what you just said about salary, yeah,
Yeah.
that's extremely true. The
Oh yeah.
man just, whoo, I'm not gonna do that.
No, they got me good. I ain't gonna lie. When I think back now, they got me good because they was getting way more. I was salary, but they were getting way more hours than that. Way more.
That's how my ex-wife was when she worked at this mental health facility, helping the kids
Mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This was years ago. She would come home with her computer and she was
Mm,
doing like reports for the company like
mm,
3 hours after work. And I was just like, you
mm,
do realize you're off work, right?
mm.
Yeah,
I remember my girlfriend. She was telling me she worked retail for years. Right?
mm-hmm.
She was a manager, and she said they used to work and then but not give them enough time to finish the store or whatever. Right? She used to clock out because she didn't want to get in trouble for going over on her hours.
Mm-hmm.
She was because she was the store was allotted a certain amount of hours, so she would clock out and finish working.
Oof. Yeah,
You
that's
know how many
tough.
people do? You know how many people do that? Work for free like that? Oh hell no, I wouldn't do none of
Oh,
that.
a lot of people.
A lot of people, man.
That is a nightmare. Because then when they get, because a lot of people they come home and they take the work home with them, which leads
Correct.
to problems in the relationship.
Correct. Exactly. Arguments. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
all you do is work. All you do, and then they argue.
And then also the significant, your work part, like that work husband turns and work wives turn.
Correct. Correct.
It's like, oh, he's my work husband. Yeah, because y'all work the same position.
Yeah. They think there's a work husband because they don't realize. Wait a minute, we're only work husband because why? Work.
Mm-hmm.
Without work, we're not together.
Exactly. And none of that goes with you if you ever get terminated.
Sure don't.
That's why I say if I do get married again, I'm gonna make sure two things. One, I'm gonna have my own business, and two, I am not pulling no fit. I am not working after work for any reason whatsoever.
No, no, it ain't. There's nothing like working for yourself, man. There's nothing like it, man. Nothing like
Yeah,
it.
man.
Nothing
I,
like it.
I ain't gonna be up here too long because you dropping some red pills today. But that show you did for women, that was the absolute truth, man. Women, y'all need to take that seriously.
Right, man. I appreciate that. That has been coming to me a lot lately about the women because women have been treated like as secondary. And it's like they don't even know that they don't have to be.
They
A lot
sure,
of women don't know that. Once they own themselves, man, the game changes for real.
yeah, women, y'all definitely need to listen to LJ because I seen the end results of it. I seen it from my own mom, like in years and years of working, struggling
Hmm.
financially, you know, dead end jobs, and
Yep.
being with being with men that's taking advantage of you, and
Hmm.
especially they got a. Now, I mean, I ain't not saying that they have like if they have a criminal record, you're right, they are better off financially, but
Yeah.
if they fall for the same trap twice, yeah,
Correct.
you do not want to have kids in that situation.
Right. Right. You gotta, you know, and that would be something hard for a person that went to jail to realize too. I mean, you got
Hmm.
you go to jail for that many years, you're gonna come out thinking you're behind. You don't know that you're financially ahead.
Yep.
To realize that, to wake up from that, that would be a very tough wake up.
Hmm. The only reason I know half of this is because from my biological father, where he passed away like 5 years ago. But when
Mm.
he got out of prison, he was in prison when I was born.
A long time. Okay.
Yeah, and he was telling me some of this stuff. Like last time I seen him, he was
Mm.
like him and my mom stressed the importance of me keeping my record clean. It was like whatever
Ah,
you do, keep your damn criminal record clean.
right.
And now I saw why.
That's important, man. That wasn't, even that wasn't stressed on me, which it should have been, right?
Mm-hmm.
People don't really understand how it just makes life harder.
Yeah, it really does. It makes your life tremendously hard. I'm not saying that you can't redeem yourself and bounce
Right.
back. It's just that it ain't worth it, especially for pieces of paper for like, let's say 22, $100 bill costs 22 or
14
25
cents.
or
14
14
cents.
cents to make.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that ain't worth it, man. I
No,
seen
I
my,
think sometimes I'll think back in my past, like when I was in my 20s, taking penitentiary chances, right?
mm-hmm,
Uh, if something would have went wrong, if I didn't wake up and say, I shouldn't be doing this, right? I would have never known that I could become an engineer, because I
yep,
wouldn't have been able to got the chance to become a computer engineer because they wouldn't have hired me because I was a felon, right?
exactly,
So I would have never known what I achieved, right? Because I
right,
became a top engineer making six figures. That would have been tough to do with a record,
indeed, it
right?
really
I
would.
wish somebody would have. They need to talk to these young men because they don't really understand that what they're doing. You're preventing something that you could possibly be in the future by doing this for worthless pieces of paper.
Absolutely. Not only just young men, they need to talk to these young girls too. For real.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause you seeing it way more, but it's getting serious now.
What you mean? What you talking about?
Now, like when you made that post about, the six figures and how you put up there someone was lying about,
Oh yeah.
the percentage,
Uh-huh.
because what they trying to say is that if you don't make six figures, you're less than, and that can mess up someone's psyche because
True.
because then they're gonna be like, I'm gonna do wherever I can to get six figures, and that can
Right.
lead to all kinds of problems. So
Right.
you right on you hit the nail on the hammer with that one.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, they make it you basically, if you don't make six figures, you ain't nothing. That's what they're
Yeah.
saying, right? But they don't
Mm-hmm.
really understand, like, who are you talking about? Six figures, a person making six figures in debt is different from there's a big difference from a person making six figures with no debt compared to a person making six figures with debt. Big
Yep.
difference.
It's a huge difference. And now I just look back at it now for my jobs. I just looked at it, I was like, man, LJ saved me.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I do, man.
You saved me
I
for
do.
real.
I
Not
mean, your
not that
life.
I
Tell him your life has changed forever. Ain't no, tell him, man, ain't no going back, Robert. Right? Can you go back?
no, don't want to, ain't trying to. I'm not, no.
No.
I had too many close calls.
Right.
No.
Right. No. There is no
You
going. Once you cross over, that's it. Ain't no going back. I keep telling people that.
not only, yeah, your dating life changes. You ain't gonna tolerate people wasting your time. You're gonna see the traps immediately. You
Immediately.
ain't you ain't gonna allow people to sweet talk you to a whole bunch of things. That's gonna come to a complete end.
It complete. Your friends are gonna change. Even your
Hmm.
friends are gonna change.
Yes, they are.
Hmm.
Your co your co-workers gonna change. I had
I
my
know.
day,
That's right.
my neighbor was in the hospital. She was in the ICU, and she would work the same place I do, and she was telling me that she called, the job to let them know that she was in the hospital, right? She was ICU. I think not COVID, but something was like wrong with her liver.
Hmm.
So she told me that our operation manager was just like, well, you used up all your attendance points and your vacation time. We might just let you go because we big on attendance. And she was like, that was a big wake up call to her because she owes a lot of money. She in
Mm.
debt.
Hmm.
She was like, that's a huge wake up call to have at 49, which is,
Mm.
yeah, your job is not exactly permanent.
I remember, when I was getting out of debt, I remember I started waking up. This is when I knew my friends were going to have to change, right? I used to always go over to a close friend of mine and during like Super Bowl Sunday games or, football games. I don't follow sports, but I used to like going over there, just getting together with some friends, right?
Hmm.
and he used to barbecue in his backyard or whatever. But guess what? I realized once I got out of there, guess what people talk about during barbecues?
What?
Work.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I'm getting them out. Hey man, what you been up to, man? Working, man, getting in that overtime. What about you? Man, just working, got to pay these bills. It's the same old talk. I was like, nah, I can't be around this anymore.
The same talk. I met this girl at work, man. It's the same old routine. I
Right.
got some coworkers at work. I got to check up on.
Right. But you just like, you on your day off, you're talking about work, and even on and usually the games are on Sunday. So after the game is over, it's usually about 3 or 4 o'clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means you're already thinking about the work day.
Yep. Because and then that's another thing and then on top of that, when you come in on Monday, you see your work buddies. What you talk about? Oh, did you see the game?
Yeah.
I bet it $100 on the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep. They talk at the game. You talking about work, and then at work you talk about the game.
Yep.
Exactly.
You talk about the NFL player salary. You be talking about some yeah, man, that 65 million a year is well worth it.
Right. For one person to throw a damn ball, $500 million. Here you go. For what? Throwing a ball. Hey, congratulations to you, person. Congratulations to you.
They would talk about that to no end. Like it's just amazing how you see it. If you stand back and you watch it, it's just amazing. It's like, yeah,
it's amazing. You know what I say to myself when I be at work, right? And then you'll see a person come to work with the team's jersey. I'm talking about, this is my team. This is my team. You know what I used to think? How did the NFL do that? How did they make a person feel that this is their team? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
by all the stuff. I'm like, did they give you that jersey or did you buy that jersey? You had to buy that, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, you got to pay top dollar for that.
Yeah, with so and so's name on the back of it. You got to pay top dollar for the name of somebody else on the back of the jersey that you buy. That is absolutely brilliant.
Yep. NFL is a genius. And then and God forbid if their favorite team lose and you bring that up at work. Oh Lord.
Oh man, people get angry.
It's been a couple of fights.
That is bananas. There are slaves that get in physical fights over something that they don't own. Wow, that is bananas.
That's why I'd be like,
or when they get mad, right? Somebody will do something, then they'll burn the jerseys, right? Oh, I'm burning so. It's like, you do know you paid for that jersey, right? And they probably made that jersey for $5 and you paid $175 and you're burning it. Okay, whatever.
That's what they did with the whole protesting thing. And when I think like when Donald Trump pissed off the NFL and people at the work, they was like, I think when Colin Kaepernick did the protest, they burnt a lot of people was burning jerseys. I'm like,
that's just, I don't know. That's just bananas. I think, when you get out of debt matrix, you have a whole different respect for businesses like, the NFL, the NBA, Walmart. They got Walmart got superstores damn near in every state of the United States. That's mind blowing, right?
And they shut down their Sam's Clubs. Like they'll close a Sam's Club, which is their their.
Well, yeah, I heard they turned those into warehouses.
Yes,
for
they
delivery
do.
Stuff.
Yep.
Because they had more Sam's Clubs more than Costco's.
They did.
So Walmart will have an advantage over like Costco because now they'll have more storage places that they can deliver their stuff faster than Costco would.
Yep, and they just have people deliver it.
Ain't that crazy how it churns? First, Walmart opens up Sam's Club to compete against Costco, right?
Right.
But they wasn't really in competition with Costco because there was a clear difference, right? But now the tables have turned. Since there were more Sam's Club, they got more storage facilities to get the people product faster than Costco now.
Yep. Brilliant.
Tables. That's why, you know what? Honestly, that's why I think Costco started accepting Visa credit cards
Mm-hmm.
because they had to, right? They had to compete. Like at first, because at first they was only accepting what was that? What's that one card they used to
I want to say not
no, it started with
Mastercard.
an A, American Express,
Express, yes,
right? And you know only certain people can get American Express, right?
correct.
So when that they had to make that move to Visa, they had to.
And then I wouldn't be surprised if with Visa they probably did it with Capital One too, because Capital One do Visa and Mastercard as well.
Well, anything with the Visa logo, you can
Yeah,
use at Costco. It really don't matter which one, right? But as
right,
long as it has the Visa logo on it, and I said they had to do that because they wouldn't have been able to keep up with the new economy. There was no way they would have been able to keep up.
correct. Just like with Cash App.
Right.
That's still funny too. Like when you see people on YouTube be talking, yeah, hit my Cash App. I could, let's get six figures. Like,
It's all recorded, all of it. All of
yeah,
it's recorded, all of it.
that's how I knew somebody was lying about that six figures. It threw me off for a long time. It's like, wait, man, six figures to be high value.
Right. Right.
Huh? And then you got to be a utility. I'm like, wait a minute now. You mean to tell me I got to have this six figures
Right.
become a public utility to help other people, and I got to consistently make this six figures for 5 years straight? Like, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
This don't sound right.
It's all part of the program. All part of the program.
If I'm making six figures, I can. Two things going to happen. One, I'm gonna be debt free.
Right.
Two, I'm not donating.
Right.
I'm just not. But yeah, you've been, hey man, that show you did for women and the red pills you've been passing out, man, it's been spectacular. I ain't gonna keep you up for
Appreciate
long.
it.
No problem. Oh, and I'm getting some more shirts again.
Oh, okay. Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I gotta get two more.
Do you know what statements you're gonna get?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the one that's no debt, no ratio. The one you did, like,
No debt, no. I know which one you're talking about. I said no debt to income ratio or something like that.
yeah.
No debt, no ratio.
And
I
then
think I said debt to income ratio, no debt, no ratio.
yeah. And then the other one has to be, I already got one, the financial freedom one. And then I think it's one up there about renters know that they're renting.
Oh, yeah, renting, mortgage versus renters or something like that. Renters
Yeah.
know they're renting. Yeah.
Man, people get into it with me about that one. They be like, you'll never believe this. They
What?
said, well, with a mortgage, you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do in your house. I'm like,
They all say that. They all say that.
with an apartment, you gotta get permission to have people come inside your place. I'm like, no, you don't. Who told you that? The bank.
They don't know they're running the program. That's all the program. That's all the program.
I just never heard of that before. I never knew mortgage companies give you free will to do well.
Well, you got to remember the bank don't care what you do to the house because as long as you pay that mortgage payment. They don't care what you do. Change the walls, paint them purple. They don't care. Whatever, as long as you make that mortgage payment on time.
Oh, in my grandma's case, they don't care if the house leans to the side.
No, they don't care.
They don't care.
That's not their problem.
They don't care if you got like gold, because my grandmother had golfers in her yard, like underground and she was like trying to call to see, like, what can they do about it? The bank was like, no, ma'am, you just got.
Oh, she was trying to call the bank.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. They're like, why are you calling us?
Yeah.
Ain't our problem.
Can you make your mortgage payment?
Exactly. That's it. They probably say, hey, you got some equity. You want to refinance a house so you can hire somebody to take care of that gopher problem?
My sister did that.
Refinance the house to take care of the gopher problem?
No, like no, my sister, they banks told her that she had some equity that she can
Right.
use.
Right. That she can use, of course. Of
And but
course.
on top of the student loans that her husband had, I was like, ooh,
Right.
I just had to keep quiet.
Well, all right, sir, man. I appreciate you jumping on, man. Thank
No
you. Thank you.
problem. Have a good Sunday. You take care.
You too, man.
Bye bye.
Bye. What you say here, Snuggles? What you say, Sal? Sal says, let's drop off some purchases at Slave's doorstep, son. Here's your brand new Affirm monthly payment 80-inch TV. Ooh, can you imagine how many people are buying TVs with Affirm? Ooh, congratulations, Affirm. Congratulations. But I thought it was because of racism. Everything happened. Isn't that what is said? Well, Snuggles, that's all part of the program, to blame something outside of themselves, right? They keep the news media and they keep debt slaves busy. If they put enough stuff in front of debt slaves won't look in the mirror. They'll be too busy focused on whatever the media is putting out there. Hey, it's this is why you're poor. This is why you're broke, because of taxes, because of parking, because of this, because of the city you live in, because of inflation, because of the dollar. It's a fiat currency, because the dollar's not backed by gold, and all this dumbass nonsense. People just believe it. Hey, the dollar went down as soon as President Nixon took it off the gold standard. Do you guys still own that? Yeah, that's why you're worried about the money's not backed by gold. Who cares what it's backed by? So what? Women saying if you don't make six figures, you're less than he's saying men are saying this. It's just bananas how, I mean, if a woman believes that, they just believe it, I guess. Oh man, they just share that information. I mean, I get it. And believe it or not, I'm telling you, those people that sell people dreams, they're all part of the process. Stop acting rich and Stop acting rich and the millionaire and the 48 laws of power. My three. Okay. Stop acting. Okay, the books. Okay, gotcha. Stop acting rich. Okay, the millionaire. Oh, Monique said, I bought some Affirm stocks. They're doing well. Oh, you did? Okay. Oh, hey. I'm curious to see how well it does for you, Monique. I would also look up Affirm type businesses, because Affirm can't handle it all. So it got to be some more businesses out there like Affirm that's jumping on this bandwagon, because they know. I'm telling you guys, okay? And I'm not a stock person. I'm not saying I'm giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you something that I see. Affirm just got ahead of this. Okay, they just got out there. They know what they're doing is cutting in on some of that. They're taking advantage of the banks not increasing people's credit card limits. And you got to remember, debt slaves still want to spend. And so now they're taking advantage of the banks not doing that. Because that's $1 billion industry. That's billions, right? Billions. Them, everybody's coming on getting a piece of this pie, okay? Because it ain't gonna last forever. Okay, you got a window, okay? Because as soon as the banks come up with something else, you gotta remember the banks, they probably cut off increasing credit card limits, but you gotta remember they're not gonna stop making money, so they're probably working on a plan of something in the background, and then when they open this new plan, it's probably gonna knock those type of businesses out of the game. Because you got to remember, the banks control the game. Okay, I'm just telling you right now. The banks control the game. Companies like Affirm are taking advantage of this window right here. This is a very small window. Well, I don't know, let's say small, but they're coming in right before Christmas. Because you got to remember, Christmas is coming. Debt slaves go into debt for Christmas. All right. And if they don't have no credit cards with no more limits, they're maxed out on their credit cards. Guess what they're going to? Affirm and businesses like Affirm to get whatever. And then they'll say, hey, I'll pay it back in January. I'll pay it back with my tax return. See how it all connects? I'll pay it all back with my tax return. Which say Cosmic says Square is also a company that does buy now, pay later, much bigger than Affirm. See, there's a whole bunch, and you know what? I'm just saying Affirm because that's the one I read. I'm sure there's some bigger ones and there's some smaller ones. I don't really follow, but hey, if they're publicly traded, I'd be like, hey, where's it at right now? Okay, all right. She's bought Afterpay stocks too. Oh wow! Square buy now, pay later branded service is Afterpay. Okay, so Omanike, you bought Square. They just branded it differently. So I suppose you mean you bought Square stocks for Afterpay. Sure is, man. Christmas. Hey, man, Christmas is coming. You see Walmart, Target. Walmart got rid of layaway and hired and introduced Afterpay. So now, because you got to remember, Walmart was not making any money on layaway, but they're going to be making some money on Afterpay. On Affirm, they're going to be making some bread. All right, we're going on almost 3 hours here. Are there any questions? Any questions? Afterpay is the same thing as layaway, but it's not anything the same, Snuggles. It's not that layaway. They didn't make any money. Layaway, they take your cart of stuff and then they roll it in the back, and then you made payments, right? So it's not the same. Afterpay and layaway is not the same, because if it was the same, Walmart wouldn't have switched. They wouldn't have switched to Affirm. Now they're making some bread. The crazy thing is that Affirm charges 9 to 24% on purchases. Boy, I tell you. They're going to make so much money. Oh, they're going to make so much money. They're going to make so much money. You guys don't even understand. Christmas is coming. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, debt slaves like to shop. They get in that seasonal mode. They like to shop with no money. In comes Affirm with a big red cape on. In comes Afterpay, Square with their big red cape on, coming in to save the day. You can still buy presents for your family with no money. I bet you the bank is in the background. They're saying, hey, yeah, you go ahead and take our scraps. Because the money that Afterpay and Affirm is getting, that's the bank's scraps. Okay. They don't run a deal with that. Trust me, I promise you. They're back there making a new plan that's probably going to start sometime in January. Any questions? Any questions? What'd you say, Gabriel? Gabriel said January 31st, 2020 is going to be a hell of oh yeah. When those student loans kick back in. Because I think like those places like Afterpay, Square, they got this window. Because you got to remember, they got this window to get as much money as they can before student loan payments kick back in. So they're trying to get in here for this Christmas money, and the bank's probably not really tripping because they know they have a small window. Because you got to remember, what they did with the student loan debt, they removed student loan debt from people's credit reports for some unknown reason. I don't know why they did that, right? I kind of have an idea, but that's just my theory. But by removing student loan debt from your credit report for all that time, increased your debt to income ratio and your credit score, because even if you were behind on it and you were late on payments or whatever it was, once they remove it, it's not there. So it changes your credit report rating, right? Now you were able to get deeper in debt, to be approved for Afterpay and Square and Affirm and companies like that, right? So you can get in there to get deeper in debt. This is why they're charging such high interest rate, because they're going to get it. They're going to get that money in that short amount of time, right? But they also know they're going to lose a lot of money. They know they're going to lose some money. They have to know that. Because once student loan debt kicks back in, you're not going to pay Affirm, Afterpay. You're not going to pay them. They know they're not going to get their money. Because student loan debt is priority. That overrides everything. But if they can get you to put your student loans in some kind of student loan forgiveness program or some whatever, guaranteeing that you'll be a debt slave for life. Once you put your student loan debt inside of one of those programs, paying on student loan debt for 10 to 25 years, praying for forgiveness like just a low down dirty slave, just begging for forgiveness. They don't know that by going in one of the programs, they're guaranteeing that they're going to be slaves for life. That's guaranteed. Because by the time you go into one of those programs, you're already so deep the reason why you're going to some kind of student loan forgiveness program is because you're already so deep in student loan debt. You have given up on ever paying them off. But what you don't know, once you sign up, you're pretty much saying, hey, I give up. Guaranteeing slavery for life, guaranteeing it. You signed up for the program. That's how I know. If you signed up for a student loan forgiveness program, you're saying, hey, I don't think I could ever pay it back. I don't think I ever will. Okay, you can own me for the rest of your life. And then they trade you in the background to come up with some new student loan program. Now, instead of Sally Mae on it, Jenny Mae, or who knows, whatever they do in the background, they buy and sell you guys. They probably got people in the background begging for those student loan debt contracts, begging for it. That's guaranteed money, guaranteed. Anyway, hope you guys have a good evening. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And if you're on, if you need to reach out to me, what time is it? I got an appointment today too. Yeah. Here's my email. Don't forget to hit that like button. All right. If you enjoyed the video, and if you enjoy all my videos, just go back and hit the like button, right? Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Later, Aaron, all the way in the UK. See you later, Omanike, Sal's, Gabriel, Cosmic, Snuggles. Thank you for jumping up, Robert. Appreciate it. Till next time. Later.